Welcome to Cities on the Move. I'm your host, Stephanie Passingham. Richard Titus has a unique talent for twisting coated wire into adorable mementos for people. We'll learn how this hobby got started and watch how he does it so quickly. Later in the program, we'll visit about Ladies' Night Out, an area event that raises money for non-traditional scholarships. A dedicated group of volunteers works so hard to create a fun evening with an important purpose. And finally, we visit the first annual Arts in the Park event recently held in Austin. The local art community is thriving, and they took some time to show off their wares. We'll have all this and more coming up on Cities on the Move. Richard Titus loves people's names, and he has a special soft spot for babies. Let's meet him now.
I'm Richard Titus. I go by Dick. I studied data processing while I was going to college. I was working in an insurance company, and lo and behold, in 1967, I brought data processing to Austin at the vocational school, and it went from data processing to word processing to information processing, and lo and behold, our 6 computers are now going into 60 computers in every classroom, almost. I think everything with regard to wire has been an accident with me. I got out of the Navy in 1954, came to junior college here for 1 year, and then I transferred to St. Thomas, and I got a job as a busboy in a restaurant. And the waitresses had to share their tips with me, so each waitress gave me a quarter a day, which added up to $2.25 plus my $1 an hour salary. But at Christmas time, I had no money as a college student to buy gifts for the waitresses. And I happened in the hardware store in that same block, and they had bare copper wire for sale. So I got the idea of making their names, and I bought a small can of enamel paint and a supply of wire, and I made each one of their names with the name and a line underneath it. And I used that wire to dip it in the enamel paint, and I stick it in the cardboard and let it dry, and then I had to clean out the E's, the O's, and the A's, etc. I gave it to them all in one envelope and said they'd know who belonged to which one. They liked them. They had black outfits. They pierced their outfits with them. And they said it increased their tips 100% because patrons could call them by names, because nobody wore name tags in those days, so maybe I invented name tags. So October 27th of 1994, the year I retired, I went to the nursery and said, can I make wire names for newborn babies? And they said, okay. So they gave me one name, and I've kept track of it on the computer since then. And within the last month, I hit number 5,500. I asked if I could meet every 100th family. And then I go in and I make the names for everybody that's there. And I've had some where it's only mom and dad and the baby, but I've also had where there's grandpa and grandma and uncles and aunts and every son, so I can't stay in the room. I just write the names down and go down to the community room and sit and do my trade. But I have too much fun doing what I'm doing. I've ridden across Minnesota for multiple sclerosis on my bicycle in 2000, 2002, and 2003. In order to raise funds for that, I asked for donations of a quarter per letter, and that paid for our entrance into the biking across Minnesota. I figure you can't go wrong if you use a person's name right.
What was the original name of the Northwestern Singers, and when were they organized? Find the answer on ksmq.org.
Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about a scholarship program that originates in the Austin area, and it's called Ladies' Night Out. And we have a couple of special guests with us today. We have Beth Johnson, we have Alice Holst, who is here. They're here to talk about what Ladies' Night is and how you might be able to participate yet this fall. So, Beth, tell us a little bit, what is Ladies' Night Out? Give us an overview of this event.
Ladies' Night Out is a complete fun-filled evening for ladies only in the Austin area, hosted by the Austin Area Chamber of Commerce. In its inception about 11-12 years ago, it was organized by another group of women in our community, and the Chamber of Commerce took over in 2004. The event this year will be at the Holiday Inn Conference Center, and our goal is to raise scholarship money for non-traditional female students attending Riverland College.
Okay, so it's specifically for Riverland.
Yes.
And how would you define non-traditional? What does that mean?
We look at women maybe who have been stay-at-home moms for a number of years, or maybe had a different job and now they want to get back into a more challenging career. They need some more certification or some training. We see a high number of ladies in the nursing program who apply for this particular scholarship.
Okay, so nice for those folks, but a direct benefit to the college as well. And Alice, tell us a little bit about your role in this event.
Well, specifically my role is I'm treasurer of the Riverland College Community College Foundation and have been for the past 8 years. And so my role, in addition to attending the function and hoping to support those scholarships, is to raise money and awareness of the foundation and the great need that there is out there for scholarships for both non-traditional students and, of course, traditional students.
Okay, and so the money that is raised for this event then is given to the foundation, and you guys are in charge of screening applicants, or how are the recipients of this non-traditional scholarship awarded?
Well, scholarships are screened in several different ways, and I believe, Beth, that the Ladies Night Out Scholarship, the Ladies Night Out Committee selects
That is correct.
the applicant. So what happens in any scholarship application process through the foundation, all of the scholarships are listed online, and students can go out and see the many, many scholarships, whether they're privately funded, like Ladies Night Out, or whether they come through the actual foundation itself. The students apply, and maybe 20 apply for the Ladies Night Out Scholarship. They then would have the opportunity to choose, as opposed to other scholarships that I can talk about later, that we actually do have a committee of the foundation that screens and chooses the recipients.
Okay, all right, sounds good. And tell us a little bit more about the event and kind of what's your fundraising goal? I mean, you have one scholarship that you give out, several. What kind of goal do you have each year?
Since 2004, well, we'd love to give scholarships to all of the applicants. We would love to raise that much money. Since 2004, we've given out $7,000 in scholarship money. And each year we try to change the theme up. A few years ago we had a beach theme and dressed accordingly. Last year it was Vegas. This year our theme is an enchanted evening. So we're going to give the ladies a night to really dress up a little bit, maybe put on some extra makeup and the high heels and come out and have a good time.
Okay.
We have raffle prizes, and the businesses of Austin are very, very supportive of this event. Both in hosting tables. We have businesses who will purchase an entire table and then have their female staff and employees or the spouses of their male employees to attend, kind of as a special treat.
Okay.
They also supported in donations of items that we use in the raffle process. And we have, for ladies who are on a tighter budget, they just are going to participate in our dollar raffles. Those are items like baseball caps and T-shirts, canned coolies, maybe some smaller items like that. Our $5 raffle items, it's kind of nice. You get to pick and choose where you put your raffle ticket on the $5 level. And that may be a shopping spree at the mall. It might be a night at Treasure Island Casino. You get to choose there. But my favorite part of what's evolved over the last couple of years is the silent auction. We have several businesses in Austin that will donate higher dollar items that are usually valued at $250 or more. Wow. And it gets, before that silent auction closes, it gets caught into a bidding frenzy of running back to see who's bid for what item.
And explain how a silent auction works for those that might not know.
With the silent auction, we have the items there on display. Each guest has a ticket, their admittance ticket, and that has their silent auction number. So they don't need to put their name on the bidding sheet, which is it's on the table right in front of the item. They just put their number and what their bid is, and just need to keep watching to make sure that their number, if they want that item, that their number corresponds with the winning bid.
Okay, and so you just kind of sign up down the list, and whoever has the last one
wins.
Right.
Absolutely. And what that has helped us to do, we've actually just added those $5 and silent auction tiers through the last couple of years. We thought we're just not raising the money we want to raise with dollar raffle tickets. You have to count up a lot of ones to get to 1,000. So we thought, what can we do? Let's be creative here. And the ladies have responded phenomenally well. We've more than doubled the amount that we raise net after expenses that we're able to turn around and give back to Riverland.
And you mentioned an enchanted evening as kind of the theme. Is there entertainment, or what's the atmosphere like? Kind of describe the event. How would you convince someone this would be a fun thing for them to do?
Well, most time if a lady can find an excuse to get out of the house and leave the husband with the kids, they want to go. But it is a very fun evening for women only. We have in the past years had some sort of an entertainment or an MC. We always have a speaker of some sort, but we have found through the years that the ladies like to come, socialize, have some cocktails, visit with their friends, eat, and then get into the raffle prizes. They want to see what they have won. So we try to keep the actual program pretty short and just stick to business. With Enchanted Evening, I think this is going to be a particularly fun evening. We have a designer out of the Rochester area who does a lot of upscale weddings and anniversary parties, and she's donating her time and materials to come and decorate the ballroom at the Holiday Inn to make it truly look enchanted.
Nice.
And we've worked with the Holiday Inn staff, their kitchen staff, to come up with a menu, special menu and dessert, and we're pretty excited about it this year. It'll be a fun time, a little bit of pampering too.
Very nice, very nice. And what does a ticket cost?
A ticket is $30, and you do receive, that pays for your meal, and you receive one $5 raffle ticket just to kind of wet your whistle.
Okay.
And there are tables of 8 or 10, but you don't have to come as a whole table. There are also individual tickets that are sold. Those are available by calling Levon at the Austin Area Chamber of Commerce, and that number is 437-4561.
Okay. Now, Alice, you've attended as a participant.
Yes,
you
I
obviously have a role with the foundation, but you've attended as a participant. What is the most fun about actually going to an event like this? Why do you enjoy a community activity like this?
Well, I think as Beth said, just to reiterate that, it's just great fun. I mean, it's been at the country club the times that I've gone, and the place is packed. And it's just really fun to get together and see. I think it's fun to get together and see all of the professional women that are there. It's really a cool event, and it's not even for me so much about the prizes. It's just seeing all these successful women, whether some are stay-at-home moms, some are, high executives of companies. It's just great to see everybody all together and successful, and I think it's wonderful that the Chamber sponsors this event. And certainly the money that's raised is just really awesome.
And what is, we talked about a little bit the scholarships, but when someone applies for a scholarship, how much would they, does that vary from year to year? How much is awarded?
Scholarships are generally in the amounts of either $500 or $1,000, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Is it $1,000 scholarship?
Yes, up to $1,000.
Up to $1,000 specifically for the ladies' night out. And I might tell you that the $1,000, $500 or $1,000 is just critically important, as tuition everywhere, not just at Riverland, but everywhere tuition has gone up, and with the budget cuts from the state to all the colleges, it's made tuition rise a little bit more. The tuition right now is $161 a credit. That's with the credits and applicable fees, and so for a semester, if someone takes 12 credits, which is what you need to take to be a full-time student, that's $1,936. And to some people, they may say, well, that's not much money. But in a semester, that could mean putting food on the table to many, many families. I'm one of the lucky folks on the foundation who gets to read almost all the scholarship applications that we get twice a year. It's just mind-boggling, the need that's out there, and not only for the non-traditional, but also for the young people who are just really wanting to get in there and go to school and get her done, but the money is prohibitive.
Can you share, without sharing a name, but can you share maybe a story and kind of, if you could think of one that's kind of in that non-traditional mode that this event would support, that would be great.
Sure. I'm thinking of one, and as I say, and in fact, we get well over 100 applicants, somewhere between 100 and 150, and can fund about 70 of those. But we really hope people will apply. But the one I'm thinking of from last year was a young woman, 32, had 3 children. Her husband had lost his job due to the economy, had been laid off. She was a nurse's aide in a nursing home, and really wanted to, go on at Riverland to be a nurse, but clearly there wasn't any money. And what jump-started her was a scholarship. She was awarded a scholarship through the foundation. This didn't happen to be through Ladies Night Out, but it's the same difference. She could have applied for that one, of $1,000. So that got her well into the first semester. And then with a little part-time help of her husband, ultimately then she did apply for the next year. And the cool thing about this story is that the next year her husband also applied for scholarship. And they were both awarded, and they had, as I say, they had 3 children. They were very involved in their children's lives, in both church, community, schools, and still found the time somehow. I just admire people so much when they can do that, to find the time to study and get through. And I know now that she is just about ready to complete the LPN nursing program here, which is, by the way, absolutely awesome. They've got equipment here at Riverland that's bar none the best. But that just sort of brings chills to my arms when people can do that. And what a wonderful, wonderful thing that Ladies Night Out, those types of events that scholarships can do for people, that just otherwise, again, that money has to put food on the table. So it's just really thrilling to see that happen.
Very nice. Well, events like this take a lot of effort, and it's great that the Chamber is involved in helping to sponsor this, but Beth, you've been involved in this for quite some time, is that correct?
I believe this is my 5th year.
Your 5th year. Tell us a little bit about the kind of person hours that are involved in putting on an event like this, and what makes it worth it for you?
The process involves a team. I think right now we have 8 to 10 ladies who are on the committee through the Chamber. We've kind of decided to do away with having a specific chairperson because everyone really puts in an equal amount of time.
Okay.
We meet on a monthly basis at the Chamber, and we started about 3 months ago with our agenda, knowing month by month exactly what had to be accomplished in contacting hostesses, contacting the venue. We made the decision to change to the Holiday Inn this year because we had a waiting list of businesses who wanted to sponsor a table, and we couldn't expand the country club. It doesn't get any bigger, so we needed a bigger space, which is why we chose to go to the Holiday Inn this year. We work with the hostesses. We then start contacting businesses saying, you were generous last year in this donation. Are you able to donate again? Then picking up or arranging for pickup of all of those gifts, getting everything tagged and ready for the night. The day of is pretty busy. I think everyone on the committee just plans on taking the day off of work that day so that we can be at the event, set things up, make sure everything goes very smoothly, because we want to be able to call raffle numbers and give prizes and keep the evening going. We want to make sure it doesn't get stale for anyone. So about 9 o'clock that night, we all sit with our shoes off and glad that we've had another successful evening. But it's important to me personally. I started college in the fall of 1987, which was our last big stock market crash, and had just started school. The crash occurred. My father lost his job, and I was 18, so I didn't fit the non-traditional female student role. But still, there I was with no funding for college. My dad said, "I'm sorry, I'd love to be able to help you, but..." And I said, "That's okay." And went right to the financial aid office. Because of other people who were generous and donated and provided for scholarships, I was able to get my own college education.
Great.
Some of that was through loans and grants and such, but those scholarships helped me to get to where I am.
And now you're paying back. So
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. It's great that you are working so hard to make an event like this happen. And Alice, thank you for being here to kind of share the story as not only a participant but a member of the foundation and all the great stories that you hear. For folks who are able to get scholarships from Riverland to attend, this is just one example of a community event that supports others in the community that are so important to the vitality of the communities in our region. And I thank you, ladies, for sharing with us. Give us a quick date. When is Ladies Night Out?
October 14th.
October 14th. If you have any questions or would like to learn more about this specific event, you can call the Chamber at 437-4561. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned for more Cities on the Move.
Meet Austin Area Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Sandy Forstner. Born and raised in Austin, Sandy graduated from St. John's University in Collegeville with a BA degree in Government and English. For 23 years, he worked at weekly newspapers throughout southern Minnesota. He and his wife Pam moved back to Austin in 2000 when he joined the Chamber. Sandy is proud that Austin is a very welcoming, sharing place. He believes the next few years will be an exciting time to be in Austin.
The first annual Arts in the Park was a delightful success. Artists from around the area showcased their personal work, and many residents took the opportunity to add some of those pieces to their collection. Let's take a look.
Austin, Minnesota and the surrounding communities have a healthy community of artists. One popular way for them to showcase their talents is by displaying their art at area festivals. One day, Karen Sundahl and Sue Radloff were talking, and it occurred to them that the local artists ought to have the opportunity to showcase their art in their own community. So Arts in the Park was born. A mad dash over less than 2 months resulted in a new community festival for Austin.
The event got started really only about 8 weeks ago when Sue Radloff and I were talking about how there are so many talented people in Austin, and yet people go elsewhere to look for art for their homes or to go to entertainment, and the artists go elsewhere to perform or to do their exhibits. So we thought, let's pull things together in Austin and be able to have an event in Austin, the first of its kind.
With a dedicated group of ever-increasing volunteers, they got to work.
We started out with 2 of us, and each of us invited who we thought might be interested. The Austin Area Art Center bought in and became our sponsor. They were providing the liability insurance for the day's events. And our committee grew to whoever really had the volunteer time and was interested. Our committee grew to about 20 people. So it started with 2 and ended with 20.
The committee decided to take an inclusive approach to the event.
Since this is the very first, it was mostly word of mouth that attracted people to come and perform and participate with us today. We may have a little bit more directed way of filtering out who should come next year, but for this year's whoever wanted to, we really didn't turn anyone away until our stage was full. Most of them are from the area, in Austin or the surrounding area. Our only criteria was that they be local or have a local connection.
The work presented must be original, and many different mediums were displayed.
Of course, all of the artists have to produce their own local art. They could do prints, for instance, if they're photographers, or prints of their own original art. But the important thing is that it be locally produced and locally, connected with local art. We have just about every kind of visual art, from pottery, jewelry, clothing, digital art, pencil art, acrylics. I'm probably forgetting some. There are just about every kind of art, including fabric art and fiber art. And then besides that, we have the musical art, the cultural side, which would be the musicians and artists, violin. Then performing on the bandshell stage, we have vocal and instrumental art, as well as storytellers, dancers, and we will have some theatrical. And the big band is going to be performing in about an hour.
Barb Saforic is one of the many artists who not only helped pull the event together, but also was present to display her art at the festival.
I've lived in Austin all my 53 years, and I'm a potter, I'm a painter, and a jewelry maker. And I look around and this is wonderful. We've got everything that you could want as far as arts go, music and painting and sculpture, and we've got some glass people and weavers and you name it. It's just great.
The festival is important, not only for the artists, but for the community as well.
Look around you and try and imagine everything in black and white. And I think that a lot of joy would be missing in our lives without people expressing their feelings through artwork. It's very important that people find an outlet, no matter what it may be, for their feelings inside. And I don't necessarily get into anything that has any kind of political statement or anything like that. I like the way it makes me feel.
So with the first year under their belt, the committee is turning their attention to what comes next.
Well, yes, there is one result that's going to come out of this. We haven't worked on it too much yet, but we're gathering business cards and information from all of the participants, artists, and volunteer organizations. We're going to put together a community directory that we would like to be able to share with the community. And the performers and the artists or the exhibitors will be able to tell a little bit about themselves. So it'll go beyond today's event. We don't really know what the coming years will be. We have set up a silent auction and a donation box and a comment box. We'd like to know what people's thoughts are. If people want this and want to support it with their funds, then we're there. We'll find a way to make it happen again next year. We will start a little earlier than 8 weeks before, though. You can be sure of that.
So if you are an artist or an art lover, get involved in your local community and keep art on the move in the region.
Fall is a great time to get a few last outdoor trips on your schedule. Here are a few to check out. Now, we recently featured Larry Reese and his dog Cody. If you are interested in checking out an AKC dog show firsthand, visit the MC Kennel Club AKC Dog Show October 10th and 11th at the North Iowa Fair Facility in Mason City. The show includes all breed, obedience, and rally obedience classes. For more information, call 641-420-4945. Wabasha, Minnesota continues to host events as part of their Septoberfest. Activities include pumpkin derby, pumpkin topiary, wine tasting, pet pageant, scarecrow contest, art show, and more, with a special emphasis on their German heritage. For more information, visit their website at wabashamin.org. And for those of you who enjoyed our story on belly dancing a couple of weeks ago, check out the Blue Lotus Cabaret on October 24th at 8 p.m. at the Rochester Civic Theater. Prepare yourself for an enchanting evening of swirling silks and hypnotic percussion as the Blue Lotus Dance Company performs compelling dances of the Middle East, featuring performances by artistic director and award-winning dancer Juliana and the ever-popular Blue Lotus Shimmy Twins. For more information, visit rochestercivictheater.org. And if you have an event to share, please visit our website, ksmq.org, and tell us all about it.
Cities on the Move is on the web. Make a comment, ask a question, or share your good idea by visiting our website at ksmq.org.
Next week, we'll learn more about the Sleep in a Box event held in Mason City, Iowa. We will also meet Bob Bardwell, an inspiring man who has created a fantastic ranch near Stewartville. And finally, we'll visit the childhood home of Dr. Norman Borlaug, the Nobel Peace Prize winner from Iowa, who recently passed away. Please join us Tuesday, October 13th at 6:30 p.m. for another edition of Cities on the Move. I'm your host, Stephanie Passingham. Good night.
Production of this program is made possible in part through a grant from the Blandin Foundation.